Hey, good afternoon, Justice Warriors. It is still Wednesday, January 18th, 2023, and it's just about 5 minutes to 2 in the afternoon on the East Coast Standard Time. So I'm coming back on live to address a couple of issues that we spoke about this morning in this morning's live. And if anybody is here and able to say hello in chat, then I'll just know that you're here and that the chat is working and all that good stuff. Know that I have sound. Everything I say is simply my opinion. It's simply for the sake of hoping to open up a discussion and start a conversation, hoping to be educational, and it is made specifically for YouTube. Since YouTube is an entertainment platform, I do like to cover that in my disclaimer. So please hit that thumbs up and hit like and subscribe if you haven't yet and would be interested. And sharing the videos is a great way to help out the creator. So I can't get over the fact that I can call myself a creator and that I have my own channel and all this stuff. It is just the coolest. I set up my channel on August 29th, and then I didn't make my first video for a couple of days. So that would have been September. And here we are getting close to the end of January. And I feel like maybe I'm getting this baby off the ground. So I just really appreciate you guys. I appreciate your participation in the chat, in the comments, sending me emails. I'll give you my email address real quick in case you want it. It's justice A2 spelled out TOOZ at gmail.com. And on my hat, I have justice, but I don't have the rest of it. So I did that with embroidery. It used to say Justin Boots, and I rearranged the letters. So it's a little goofy, but that's all right. I like to be a little bit goofy. Hello at the scene with Haley V. How are you this afternoon, lady? So nice to see you from across the pond. So I got to watch some really uh, exciting and informative videos. And you just guys, you can't believe that I actually get to work all day, every day, and do this. So my employer has asked me to never disclose my employment, which, okay. But, and plus, if I did, all you guys would be like dying to get my job, right? So I just am very, very fortunate that I can kind of follow my passion and not worry about it being monetized or not monetized or any of that jazz. Because really, honestly, this whole YouTube thing is quite the freaking racket, in my humble opinion. So, if you're trying to make money at it, I don't know. I mean, it's just weird. It's something that I do as a hobby and I love it and it's a passion. If it happens to make money, that's great. If it costs me a bunch of money to do it, I'm okay with that too. Fortunately, I'm in a good enough position that so far it has cost me a lot of money to upgrade my computer and stuff like that, but I could care less. I'm so happy to be part of this community, this true crime community that I love so dearly. Let me read a few of your comments and then get started on my notes here. Alistair Grant says, "Good afternoon, Justice. In America, 2 lives in one day. Woo woo." I try. I've been trying to do the 2 in a day, and I don't want to rip me off or rip you guys off. So I'm trying to decide, like, should I do one slightly longer one or try to keep it down to 2 shorter ones? I'm going with the 2 shorter ones right now, but it's hard to keep them short. That's the problem here. Um, and Haley V says she's good. Pixie Knickers, I got your email, so now I need to get the email from the other. Was it Dilly Owens from earlier this morning? So she needs to send me an email, and then I can forward you guys each other's emails. At the scene says, "Me too. Luckily, I have my own business, but I do keep it private and separate from my channel." Yeah, isn't that the coolest? It's just really nice to be. I feel like it's quite a luxury to have a nice laptop and to be able to sit here and talk to you guys. It's pretty amazing. So thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. And yes, it is Dilly. So yeah, I can see if I probably have an email from her previously, but if not, I'll just wait until she emails me and then get that done. So let's see. I actually watched the Chronicles of Olivia on double speed. I slowed it down to single speed when they were speaking about the conversation that Jack D had with Kaylee and Maddie that night on the video surveillance camera. We have the still shot. Where's the video? I feel like that's extremely important just to prove that it exists. They did dispute the timestamp on it. They thought that that might have been off for one reason or another, but they confirmed that Jack D was having a fine conversation with the two girls at the bar that night. And then when they left, he said that he was heading home, that he had to get up early or work or something the next day. So I thought that was fascinating. When Jack D went over to the parents' house the very next day when this horrible tragedy happened, he showed up at their house within a few hours, and these were their words. They said that he said, "I'm so sorry." And he lifted up his shirt. I can't remember if they asked him to lift up his shirt or if he just volunteered that. Um, but I just thought, okay, good information to have. So he said, "I'm so sorry," and he lifted up his shirt, basically. So, um, yeah. Let's see. The Ring video outside of the residence of 1122, you guys might already know this. It's has the Maddie and Kaylee recorded as getting home at 1:56 exactly. So let me read what Haley V says. Honestly, since I have been sober, I have never been so focused. It is such a gift. I know I love being sober and I love being focused. Like it helps me to have the structure of doing this. It really helps me stay on top of everything, not just, having my handy notebook and taking notes and stuff, but it helps me stay on top of my entire life, literally. Like when I'm more organized, I'm more organized. So it's really, really good for me. Um, so let's see, what did I want to say about that? Kaylee's mother looked exactly like her when she was younger. Oh my goodness. And what a knockout both Kaylee and her mom were or are. So sad. Um, the part about Crime Stories Obsessed UK, and I love her channel, I must say. I watched her most recent one that you guys were talking about in this morning's video about the 2 pages out of the affidavit concerning Ethan's injuries and those 2 pages being redacted. Now, I don't know because I'm not the final, person to speak on these things, but in reading the first page, and then you got a blank second page and a blank third page, and then getting on to the next page. In reading from the bottom of the first page to the top of the next page, it looks to me like it's the same sentence. So I'm literally, honestly wondering if, like, the paper got jammed in the fax or the Xerox or something. So you've got 2 blank pages, but the typed pages are numbered, and it starts with number 1, and then you got 2 blank pages, and then the next page is numbered 2. So it didn't look to me like anything other than like the name of the medical examiner and stuff like that was redacted. So that's my thoughts and opinions about that. And I love it. At the scene with Haley V says, "Me too. My office is covered in post-it notes. I'm just happy if I can find a pen and a notebook, and hopefully, preferably the notebook that I bought because it's so pretty. So I made it like super special to keep track of all of my ideas and things that I'm putting into my videos. But my problem is, can I find a pen and can I find my book? So as long as I have those two things, I can stay on top of it. And, if I have a thought and I can't find my pen and I can't find a scrap of paper to write it on, that thought is gone. And the other problem I have is if I find a scrap of paper to write my thought on, then what happens to that scrap of paper? It's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But I do have 4 kids, 3 cats, and 2 dogs. So I'll give myself a little bit of credit. Um, but what I thought was really cute when Steve Gonzalez was speaking, and I got to tell you, I have such an affinity for Kaylee's family and just how open they've been speaking out. So I just find them wise and comforting, especially Steve. He just seems like a great guy. Um, he said something to the effect of how we can all make this world a better place. We can't expect, to rely on other people to do that for us. And it was so cute what he said. He literally said, "Take notes and you can work to fix things." I'm not kidding you guys. It was in that interview with Chronicles of Olivia. Take notes and you can work to fix things. Um, he said that whatever happens, you can't stop trying to make the world a better place and to find justice. But his motion, his activity of accomplishing that was to take notes. I just thought that was adorable. And probably because he's been speaking to police officers a lot over the last couple of months since this tragic uh, crime, that police officers, they always have their little tiny notebook in their pocket and they write their stuff down. um and yeah, it does make a huge difference. I think all of us think we'll remember things that we can't remember, right? So oh my goodness, Haley, are you kidding? Because I felt so goofy when I was showing my notebook a second ago, and I had already showed it when it was brand new, like a week or so ago. So Haley says, "Oh my God, we have the same notebook." You have got to be kidding me, girlfriend. That is too funny. I got to show it again now because it's like the prettiest picture in the world. I was at this cool bookstore where they had a lot of really beautiful journals, and I just had to have this one. It took me a while. It took me a long time to rule out the coolest ones and which one I could live without and which one I would die if I didn't buy it and somebody else did. Oh my goodness. My mom bought it for me for my birthday. Cool. And yesterday was my mom's birthday. And yeah, they have coped with it with such dignity. What a great word, Haley. What a great word. And oh, Jaded Warehouse says, "You look like royalty with that necklace. You are so sweet." So I had on a more modest necklace earlier that I had made. This one I did not make, and I hardly ever wear it because it's a lot of bling, a little lotta. But something about it, I just love it. I was going to take it apart and make it less showy, but it's kind of perfect the way it is, even though it's a little too much bling for me at most times. Um, anyway, enough about my jewelry. Let's get on with the show. I got my notes. Um, what I really wanted to share, this is kind of funny, tying together the two cases of Kylie Rodney with this tragedy of the Idaho 4 and Kylie Rodney's mother making that statement at her memorial about how there's honor in silence. And I just kind of plug that into the situation that we're in now with the criminal defendant who has been pretty stoically silent. I don't like to use the word stoically with him because that kind of implies a hero type of mentality that he's just so despicable. The criminal defendant looks very guilty. We do not know if he is guilty until he's tried in a court of law and found guilty. So I want to be careful about that. But I just thought, you know, is there honor in the criminal defendant silence? Because I don't think there is. I really don't think there is. Um, but what else did I want to make sure that I spoke to you guys about? Um, Again, Steve Gonzalez and the family, they were saying things about how hard it is to come out and speak publicly in social media platforms, and that whenever you say anything, you're going to get torn apart, right? We were talking about that this morning. That it doesn't matter if people tear you apart. If you have conviction in what you're saying, it's just not important. And in their situation, they will not stop talking about Kaylee. They will do anything for her and weather the storm. They will walk over the hot coals. And that's how I feel it should be for somebody like Kaylee's ex boyfriend. He shouldn't be whining about getting scrutinized. If he's innocent, he should understand that that scrutiny has to happen. It absolutely has to happen. So I'm basically just saying that I still want to know the full story. I want to know why he didn't tell anybody until it was basically discovered that he had been in the bar with Kaylee and Madison shortly before the tragedies happened. I think that's really important. Why did he have different stories? Why did he have story A, story B, and story C? That's not right. That's a huge indicator when someone's lying, when somebody's concealing information, something's up. And I want to know what it is. I mean, it could be anything. Maybe he had another girlfriend. I mean, seriously, right? Maybe he went home with another chick from the bar. Who knows? But what I do know is that you can't change your alibi. You absolutely can't change your alibi. So, um, and when you're trying to find justice, whether that's here on a YouTube platform or, God forbid, for your loved one who's been harmed, you have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to put yourself out there, or you're not going to get what, you're not going to get justice if you can't just be strong and put your best foot forward and do everything that you can and be ready to take the heat, be ready to take the criticism, thicken your skin. I mean, it's much easier said than done. Absolutely much easier said than done, but it has to happen. Um, if you're going to do anything in this life, you have to thicken your skin and know not to take things personally. When people are criticizing you, it's about them, it's not about you. Absolutely. So every time you say anything, you will take some heat. It's sort of like martial arts or chess. Anytime you bust a move, you open yourself up for a vulnerability. So sometimes you can foresee it and sometimes you can't foresee it, but you just have to be prepared. So, yeah, it just doesn't matter if people criticize you and tear you apart. That has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with them. They're showing what a jerk they are, that they have nothing better to do than criticize other people and tear them apart, right? Um Jaded Warehouse, I'm so glad I looked up and saw your comment right before it scrolled away. Let's see. There's honor in silence is not something anyone would say unless there's a reason for the silence. Just my opinion. That statement has never sat right with me either. Jaded Warehouse. You said that so well. I'm just impressed. I want to read that again. That's so powerful. Because what these people do is they gaslight and they try to make you feel bad for speaking out for justice for a teenager like Kylie. They try to turn it and make you the villain and say something like that. There's honor in silence. And it's not right. But at the same time, you want to give a parent who's lost a child, you want to give them a long leash to say and do whatever they feel like they need to say and do, right? But it is not something anyone would say unless there's a reason for the silence. Just my opinion, Jaded Warehouse says, and I feel very strongly that that opinion is 100% accurate. Jaded Warehouse goes on to say that statement has never sat right with me. So, yes, I think that that is probably the way a lot of us feel about it. I actually tried to just accept her words and let it be. And, I thought she's saying some things that are offensive to me, but so be it. She's a mom who's lost a child and she can do what she needs to do. And I was trying not to take it personally. And I don't think I did take it personally, but that statement, there's honor in silence, is absolutely twisted, in my humble opinion. So, I and Jaded Warehouse says I stood by Lindsay as much as I could until that interview. I continued to stand by her as long as I could, but I um, am convinced that there's something extremely wrong with her and extremely wrong with that whole situation. And I think that she needs to be interrogated by honest cops, not by corrupt cops, not by incompetent cops. Um, I think that the law enforcement there needs to be interrogated by honest law enforcement. Just my opinion. When four people have been brutally murdered, there is no room for silence or conflicting stories. The victims and the families deserve better than that. And I think you are 100% right. Absolutely, Haley. And I would say that that exact same statement applies to Kylie, Mrs. Kylie Rodney. That didn't work. Hold on one sec. It is so hard when we have Kylie and Kaylee. We'll just leave it with the two Ks right now, right? So when one person is unalived, there's no room for silence or conflicting stories. The victims and the family deserve better than that. So yeah, we don't know what happened. We don't know how she was unalived. Really, do we even know if she actually is unalive? I think that she probably is, but what is the evidence? Really? Like, we've got a one or maybe two wacko autopsies from unprofessional people that do whatever they want. I don't know. Okay. Heavenly Cloud said, I listened to another channel who had a guest on, and this guest thinks one of Kaylee family members was involved. I don't know if you want me to say who. I couldn't believe it. Um, if that person was really open about it, then fine. But if they don't want to be open about it, I would say let's leave it alone. But yeah, I know that there have been some suspicions about one of her family members, and I believe it's the sister. Um, and to me, the family, I believe, is innocent of any and all wrongdoing. But again, I'm not a know-it-all. I could be incorrect. I felt her way of speaking so poetically was how she got most people in her field. Oh, like on her side, Jaded Warehouse. And I did not think she spoke poetically. Like, the way she spoke was so annoying to me, and I think to a lot of people. It was well said, Katie Van. Creepy. Lindsay was always creepy. Yeah, absolutely. Something is extremely wrong with that picture and with that unalived teenager. And let's get on with the show. We got bills to pay. No way, man. No parent is going to respond like that, period. The end. In my mind, in my humble opinion. Okay, Jaded Warehouse says, almost felt hypnotizing, like she was using those words beautifully in an order that would make people feel bad about speaking on it, and that feels manipulative to me. Oh, you are just on it, Jaded Warehouse. It was so manipulative. And yeah, she's probably well versed in that type of thing from her I don't want to from her community activity there. I was going to say church. I was going to say that other C word, but let's just call it that C word, community activity. Yeah. All right. So, you guys, I am going to need to wrap this one up. And let's see if that is true. It should be saved for prosecution and the trial. So, best not to fuel it. We don't want anything being screwed up with a conviction. So, wise, jaded warehouse, you are just batting 1,000 today. Yeah, that's the one thing I want to be so careful of in these chats and these discussions is to not do anything that could compromise the integrity of the trial, the investigation, or the justice for the victims and for their families. So, on that, you guys, I'm going to wrap this one up short. It's just 25 minutes long, but like I said, trying to do 2 a day shorter or versus 1 longer a day. I really like having the 2 a day. So, I'm going to say peace out. I hope you guys can have a very productive rest of your Wednesday, rest of your week. Get some exercise, fresh air, and sunshine. A lot of produce into your system, tons of fruits and vegetables, twice as many veggies as fruits if possible, and hopefully like 10 servings a day total, minimum for a grown up our size, right? So get your protein, get your water, stay hydrated, and just be kind to yourself, be kind to other people. Keep your stress levels as low as you can, get your rest and relaxation. And thank you so much for joining me. And see you in the morning, bright and early, hopefully like around 8:30, no later than 9. Thanks again, you guys. Have a great day. Sending you love and light.